Bonjour, Hillsborough, and of course, Michael Howard, who needs his own special introduction. Hey, thank you for joining us today. It is Thursday, and as of right now, it's 5:30. Right, little?
Exactly.
Yes. And crouton, as always, which means somebody's walking by. But hey, real quick, I know you're dying to get something to eat inside you. So if you remember on Tuesday, we had Kate and Mick from Radius who showed their DIY pies, DIY pie kits. They've got those. Look on their Instagram page. They are available in meat or veggie. You order those at radiuspizzeria.net. And then we also have, I lost my little thing, over at
I'm right here.
LOL. Over there at Antonia's, we have fusilli with shrimp and pesto cream sauce. You can get that all by itself or with spinach, bread, and oil. And today's dessert is a double chocolate layer cake or vanilla creme brulee. All that's for $59. But you thirsty? You thirsty? I know you are. So here goes Lana. She's going to make a drink.
I'm going to make a drink. So we're going to make something that's actually on our menu. It's called a scalawag. And it's delicious. We're going to use, it's a gin-based drink. So we're going to use this Chemist gin. And yes, I know I always preach it. We use 2 full ounces, but we've got 3 different liquors in this. So we're going to do 1.5 ounces of the Chemist, and then 3/4 ounce of the creme de coco. And 3/4 of an ounce of Lillet. And then also 3/4 of an ounce of fresh lime juice, which once again, I'm going to just squeeze a half a lime in there and we're going to wing it. Normally I would measure it, but we're not using a lot of fresh.
I know you are. So here goes Lana. She's going to make a drink.
Oh, shit. We're not using a lot of fresh lime juice, so we don't keep any on hand. So I'm doing it to order at this point. So I think that's probably pretty close to about 3/4 of an ounce of fresh squeezed lime juice. And then it's got our lemon juice. Since it's got lemon, I've got ice in the shaker, and I'm going to shake it till it's good and cold. This is for Meg Poe. Awesome. And this drink gets strained over 1 large, can you see that? 1 large cube of ice in a highball glass or an old-fashioned glass. Beautiful. Start cold. And we garnish it with a fresh rosemary grown right out here up in front of Yonder. Want to try it?
I do. Hell yeah. Delicious.
Freaking delicious, I'm sure.
Yeah, my favorite thing is a busy night. We run out of rosemary. We can just run right out front and grab some.
Oh, heck yeah. That's good.
Hey, we have a very special guest on this evening. We're very, very pleased to introduce the Hillsborough mayor herself, Miss Jennifer Weaver. Everybody put your hands together for Miss Jennifer Weaver. Yeah.
Woo, woo, woo.
Hi, y'all. Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We know you're awful busy. They keep you pretty busy these days, right?
Yeah, yes.
Well,
I think my week will look like something, and it looks like something totally different. But these are the times we're in.
Yes, ma'am, they are. Hey, I want to apologize, but these questions that I had written for you, I wrote them 3 months ago, so they may be dated. What are the greatest challenges you faced as mayor? Let's just go ahead and skip that one. Can we throw a huge mayoral rally for? Nope, let's skip that one. What do you think about us opening a wet market here? Nope, no. Okay, so let's just scrap the questions. We'll throw a couple of softballs. When did you tell everybody when you took over as mayor, just in case they've been asleep for the last?
I was sworn in at the beginning of December. I was on the board for 7 years as a commissioner before I became mayor.
So you barely had time to get your feet wet before this started.
Nice. A hurricane or a blizzard, something like that. But, we jumped right into a pandemic.
I don't think there's any better way to get you warmed up. You succeeded the longtime mayor and our regular customer, Tom Stevens. pre-COVID, what direction were you planning on taking things?
Well, it's interesting, the things that I talked about a lot when I was running for office, and that our board has been talking a lot about for the past couple of years, is moving our town. We're in this era of, even though everything is COVID-19 right now, the climate crisis remains a really critical issue that is still with us. And so thinking about how to move our town into that era in an effective way, which is connected to so many other things like affordability, transportation, so many issues are connected to that inherently. And so still thinking about those things. But now we're in a different context. And all of that is also in always trying to keep the amazing community that we have here, and help us grow closer together and grow in a responsible way.
As a young and relatively extremely new mayor, can you give people kind of some insight on what it's like to kind of step into a crisis on this scale, especially just out the gate?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was certainly an advantage that I had been on the board for 7 years prior to that. So I'm sure that there are people all over the country who are in office for the first time as mayors who are doing a bang up job, but I imagine it's a lot harder. So I already had a basic idea of how things worked. I already knew my board members. I know the staff. That's a tremendous advantage. And part of that is knowing that I'm just having a lot of faith in our staff. We have an outstanding town manager who already places a high priority on emergency preparedness and, just being ready for crisis situations. And he's got a great team. So regardless, it's still like drinking from a fire hose, in particular because this specific crisis is so unlike anything that any of us have been a part of before.
Yeah, so I've been down at the bar pretty much all day today, and the people down 3 doors down at Nomad, I mean, they were slated to open up the week everything shut down. And they just put the brakes on, and they are trying to figure things out. They are opening, I don't know if anybody doesn't know this, but they opened today. And they're doing service or doing takeout service and possibly delivery, I'm not sure. But if you check out their website, I don't know, they have a Facebook page, and it's thenomadnc.com. If you check out their website, they've got, they're taking orders today and tomorrow, and they're about to rethink it and start do maybe 4 days as well. And then 1 door down from them, Los Altos is doing Tuesday through Sunday. They're closing on Mondays, but they're also doing takeout service. Then they have the food truck down the road. But I mean, things were going, we were lots of things. The Colonial Inn was slated to open on June 1st. Now they pushed it to July. But yeah, things were moving along. What does our future look like? We're done. We're closed at this point. Our hope is dwindling, and it's kind of sucking for us. So what do you think? What do we have to look forward to?
Well, this is what I think. First of all, I just want to just acknowledge that I am guessing that y'all might have been hopeful that y'all were going to be included in that phase 2. And that was probably a pretty, took some wind out of your sails, I imagine. A lot of folks were surprised about that. So just know that I'm feeling for you. I'm feeling for other groups that, other businesses that thought they might be in that group that weren't. And I know there's some folks that are in that group and wish they weren't. So everything about this is tricky. But you asked me a different question. And so the question is, what do we look forward to? How, what gives us hope in this moment really is what I think you're asking. And that's that this community loves Hillsborough. I mean, people love this place. They love our establishments. They're really committed to this whole idea of buy local. I mean, we have, Dual Supply lives, and we've got an independent bookstore that lives in an era when those kinds of businesses were totally shutting down. Ours stayed alive, and it's because people here care about our local folks. We know each other. It's part of the beauty of our smallness. So I think that is the thing that will see us through. And what I am really hopeful for is that dedication will carry through to the public health measures that we all need to be committed to really get through this on the other side and not have to backtrack. I think that's kind of the tricky spot we're in right now is, okay, we're starting something new. That's pretty scary, and but we definitely don't want to go backwards, and so people, I love seeing y'all with your masks on, even though you're not open. I think that's a great example to show to the community that like y'all are ready. Who knows who you might see when you walk out the door. So I appreciate that. And wearing those masks, keeping the distance, washing those hands. It sounds, I keep repeating it, and people are probably tired of hearing me say it, but it's just really, really important. And that's the secret. That's the secret sauce.
Yeah, my mask that I have today was designed by a visual artist who works with denim, and he hooked us up.
Yes, my bestie is an amazing seamstress, as her husband is a denim artist, and I asked him to make us some masks while he was sewing it. And he did. I didn't expect him to follow through, but he did. He took the time out of his busy life and he made, recycled.
So we're big fans of the Thursday Coffee with the Mayor program. And it's especially exciting today when you just got started and you got called away for emergency oral business. That was thrilling. They're kind of similar to like the, if you don't mind the comparison, like the FDR fireside chats, like when everything's kind of a drag, there's a little bit of, truth and optimism. That's so different from many leaders that give their own briefings on TV. Is if you had to offer any advice to, like, let's just say, I don't know, the president on how to make his briefings more better, what would you say?
For example.
For example.
I would say to tell the truth.
That's a stretch.
But that's my advice, and I think that for me, I want to communicate what is truthful, like the real matter of the situation that we're dealing with, because it is serious and is fraught, and there is very little certainty about it. And that feels important to be honest with people about that for me, because if I tell someone something different, they're not going to believe that, how can they trust what I'm saying about something else? So that feels important. And being empathetic also feels really important because there is a lot of suffering. One of the things that I've talked about is that for me is very surreal about this is that my family is fine. It's not my ideal situation to be at home all the time, but like we are fine. We are getting along. All of our needs are met. But there are so many people for whom that is not true. And that is really painful and scary because that affects all of us.
Absolutely. Hey, speaking of the situation in Washington, and I apologize if this is a more hard-hitting question. We're serious journalism here. Up there in D.C., the hydroxychloroquine pitch man himself was putting a lot of blame on his previous administration. What blame do you think lies at the feet of Tom Stevens and his administration? Were there broken COVID tests laying the shelves bare when you took over?
I ran into Tom a couple of times early on in this situation, and I looked at him and I was like, nice, you really nice going to leave me with this one.
Way to jump ship, man. He knew what was up. That's what happened.
He knew the whole time.
Us for one, we've been staunch defenders of yours because we do not think it's fair that they compare how you're handling COVID with how he handled Spanish flu. We don't think that's fair at all. What's the home life? What's the home life been like for the Weavers?
Well, we get up and we have our breakfast. My husband's got his home office downstairs. He's very settled in there, and the kids do their schoolwork, and then we walk the dog. It's very, very exciting. Very exciting.
Are either of y'all taking on the teaching duties?
We are pretty hands off. We offer help when we need and kind of be sure they're doing what they need to do. But we're putting a lot of faith in Orange County schools and the work that they're providing, and it seems to be working. And really, as far as the school goes, for us, it just feels like, let's just get through it, and then we'll assess what comes later, because this is, we're just trying to get through it and not make that feel like it needs to be some kind of perfect magical experience, because we can't do it.
Yeah. So what are you reading these days? Do you have are you a reader? Are you a TV watcher? How do you get your entertainment value? Where does that come from for you?
I dabble in a little bit of both. So most recently, as far as shows go, I watched The Last Dance, so the Michael Jordan documentary, and I really enjoyed that, especially as a North Carolinian. So that was great. There was another show I was watching that I just finished. Oh, I loved Schitt's Creek. Watched that.
Love that
so
one.
Great. Just so good to just laugh, and just brilliant, beautiful, wonderful, heartwarming too. I love that show.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
Isn't it fun?
It really is. I actually watched that one pre-COVID, and I don't think he's seen it yet, but it's totally up my alley. Like on his work nights when I wasn't working, I would watch that, and I freaking loved it. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just gets better, I think.
Yeah,
and then go ahead.
No, it stays the course. It's not one of those like no shark jumping yet.
Totally, absolutely. And reading, I'm reading right now the second in the Book of Dust series, the Golden Compass. It's like Philip Pullman, I believe, is the author, about a girl. Multiverses. It's kind of fantasy.
Nice.
But it's
nice.
A friend of mine here is a big fan. I'm rereading a ton of French detective novels. I said I was just going to pick up one. I'd read them all before, but now I'm reading them all. What about dinner? Like, are you cooking anything weird? Do you guys tend to do like the same old recipes, or do you branch out and try some crazy stuff?
We have a few standbys that we do. Have we tried any crazy stuff? Man, I wish I had a better answer to that. I will say that my daughter she's 10, and I like to watch the Great British Baking Show with them.
I love that one. Nice.
It's so fun. And so she's, and my son too, done some baking experiments. So she made her first, I can't remember the cool French name for it, but basically puff pastry.
Yes.
First one of those. So
Shoe.
that was very exciting.
They call it shoe, right? Is that what you're talking about? The shoe?
Exactly. And it turned out great. It
Nice.
was actually really good, but it sounds cool, so.
Yeah, last week we Googled Portugal just because whatever, and chicken. And we're just going to make whatever that. We came up with something that had coconut milk and cheese in it, which didn't sound good on paper, but it tasted.
And curry.
Yeah, and
apparently curry is famous in Portugal.
Whatever, man.
I don't know.
We figure this is the time for experimenting. What you drinking these days?
I'm a beer drinker, beer or wine typically. So I'm having a little. This was just one of those, like, whatever they have on sale at Weaver Street is fun to try.
Nice.
I can't find the camera apparently, but it's It's a hazy wonder, Lagunitis. But I did find this, you can see it. I have a glass that says Scallywag on it. I ran
there.
That's nuts. That's the drink we made.
That's right. I did it on purpose.
What do you think you're looking forward to doing most when it's all safe for everything to go back to? We're just say go back to normal. I'm about tired of the word new normal, but when everything's back to normal, what are you looking forward to doing the most?
I'm looking forward to hugging the crap out of everyone with anyone who is willing to accept one without harassment. I'm a hugger, and I'm just really excited to have more expressions of physical love and appreciation for my fellow humans.
Do that. X. Let's. Do you have anything else?
No, I think we're.
Yeah.
I think we're good. So yeah, I think we're good. Yeah.
Hey man, we're really grateful that you came on. We're really we're really glad. You know, something we talk a lot of trash about sometimes the folks that are the leaders throughout this thing, but yeah, we're really glad that you're like one of the exceptions. I know this isn't easy, but yeah, at least it seems like you know, we appreciate what you're doing there, and especially appreciate you coming on and hanging out with us today.
Well, I really appreciate the invitation, and I can't say enough how much I appreciate, you know, we talked about Tom a couple of times, just how he laid the foundation for, you know, our feeling of community and the way the town functions, you know, as a high functioning town. So I'm grateful to him, and I'm grateful to you guys for the care you're putting in and bringing some lightness to these afternoons. So thank you for having me.
Yeah, us giving Tom a hard time that also goes on pre-COVID and post-COVID as well. We've been texting with him all day. He said he's going to come on and hang out with us next Friday, most possibly. I think he's checking his calendar, but so we're going to have him on. We love that guy, and we have Stephen Beck with the Pork Brains. He's going to be coming in here and playing some music later tonight because they kicked him off the mountaintop. So so he's going to come in and play some music with us.
Are you going to consider my closing the streets down? Work with me on how we're going to make that happen?
Landon wants Mardi Gras on here.
It's really challenging for us with where our streets are. The streets that would make the most sense location-wise to close down are state roads. And, you know, like if for particular events, you know, because we close them for particular events, right? For like last Fridays, we close a street, you know, for a parade, we close the streets. So it's not that they can't ever be closed. And I think that
we have.
I think
we have to make sure Kurtan does not bite him. Sorry.
Totally.
So you think that a permanent closing? We couldn't turn West King Street into a Fayetteville in Raleigh.
No, that's an NCDOT road, and they are not having that for sure.
We don't have any pull in that department, is what you're telling me.
That's what I'm telling you.
Yeah. Damn. Well, that's it. That's my second effort, but I'm still not giving up on it. They might have to. Think that, what's that?
This is really important, though. If businesses have ideas, things you want to try, please reach out to us. Because we really, you know, we might not say yes to the thing you're asking for, but it might give us, here's how we can make something like that work. So, because
I really feel like more outdoor spaces would give, like the indoor thing is the thing that's really challenging right now, I feel. So like more outdoor spaces, more options for outdoor spaces, I think would definitely open up some options.
And we've talked about it. Our application for turning this place into a wet market, I'm going to go ahead and rescind that. You guys are right. It was a bad idea, but we'll keep thinking.
Maybe you could just take out a couple of walls.
Yeah.
And
let the bath go.
One of those walls belongs to Miss Lloyd. I don't think she's going to like that.
No.
Hey, thank you very much, Ms. Weaver. We really appreciate you stopping by. We can't wait to have you in here for a beer.
Oh, right on. I look forward to that day as well. Thanks so much, and good luck.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Yep. So that's our party. Thank you very much to Ms. Weaver, and we have Stephen Beck loading in right now. So we're going to turn the camera around. So we have some music here. If Crouton lets him in, go ahead.
I got it.
We'll see y'all soon. Hey, tomorrow night we have Jeannie from Unique Boutiques, and then we're gonna have Catherine Whalen and Certain Seas play some music after that. Next week we have a whole, we weren't sure if we were gonna be open or not, but we have a whole new slate coming up, including Todd Stevens and some other folks. So stick around. What's next week gonna smell like? We'll see. We'll see. Thank y'all very much, man. Y'all be careful out there.
We have to bring each other.